Hey, good morning. Man, come on, sit down, have a seat. How you doing? I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Yeah, man, it's been a long week, you know. Oh, so you heard? Yeah, I'm working on a couple new projects. One of them is called I Have a Story to Tell. And basically, I'm going to be having people tell their stories, and I'm going to be telling stories about things that happened back in the day. And the whole thought and the process behind that is to let people know that you can make mistakes, but you can rebound and be successful after making those mistakes. It's going to be all kind of stories. What? Yeah. Oh, you want to hear a story now? Let me think. Okay, I got one. I got one for you. Man, when I was a little kid, I want to say around 3 or 4 years old, my mother used to take us to a babysitter. Babysitter was a lovely old woman, you know, and she had a husband who was equally as old. He worked, I believe, servicing cars. He was a mechanic. So one day, these are real country people in Baltimore, which is surprising. So one day, we're at the babysitters. Everything's going good. She goes down to gets the mail. Well, she comes back from the mail, goes in, opens the mail. She busts out the room in tears. You know, we young. Like I said, we 3, 4 years old. It was before we even got to kindergarten. So I don't know what she was upset about at the time, but she ran to the room. She was so upset that she never came back. She had to get her older kids to fix us lunch. We ate lunch and we didn't see her the rest of the day. Well, not too long after lunch, her husband came home early, which is unusual for him because usually he's not home until far after we leave, as far as I know. So he goes in the room, they're talking, she's crying. Next thing you know, he's crying, fussing and cussing. It was just crazy. Well, when my mom comes to pick us up around 3 o'clock, they say, Sandra, we know you work at the bank. We need some information. We need some help. So they all go into the dining room, close the doors while we're sitting in the living room waiting for my mom to take us home. After about an hour, my mom come bust out the room, yelling at us to get our stuff and come on. We get in the car as we drive, and I can see mom tearing up. And I knew it was something serious because my mother doesn't cry often. I don't think at that point in my life I had ever seen her cry before. My mom looks back at us as we're driving home and tells us, from now on, y'all going to get a book every day. Y'all going to read a book every single day. And to be honest, from that time on, we got about 5 or 6 books every Christmas. Now, we always got one book for Christmas, but it was 5 or 6 from that point on for as long as I can remember. Well, when we get home, mom is fixing dinner. Dad comes in the door, and he looks at her. He knows something wrong. He can see her eyes were swollen. And he says, Sandra, what's going on? And she proceeds to tell him the story. See, this couple had been in their home for over 25 years and were close to paying it off. They had this huge, beautiful type house over there off of Garrison Boulevard. And apparently, the realtor or the banker had put a clause in their payment, in their paperwork. And basically that clause was if they ever missed 3 payments over the lifetime of that mortgage loan, the bank would foreclose on their house. And see, these were old country folk. They grew up in an era and in a place where a lot of African Americans didn't necessarily know how to read. So they didn't know how to read when they signed their paperwork. And the bank had waited till they were 5 years from finished paying off their loan to foreclose in their house to make them start all over. So I guess the moral of the story is, man, we have to teach our children to read. We have to teach our children to study. And that's what I Got a Story to Tell is all about telling stories from ourselves to help our brothers, sisters, friends, and family in our community grow. Yeah, it was a terrible situation. And it's amazing I remember that. And I remember that because it was devastating as a child. You know, it's funny because the bank could have got with them. It wasn't like they were late at the time the payment was due. The bank just waited to take back that loan so they could start over again to make more money. And if you ever want to know anything about banking, look up a dude called Jeffrey Levitt and savings and loans. It was a big scandal in Baltimore and it hurt a whole lot of people. Well, once again, I'm glad I could tell you my story. I'm glad you could be with me. Oh, you gotta go? Oh man, I'm sorry. You know I could talk for forever. Man, you have a good one. All right.